Hey, it is week 37, Champions on Sale Part 2, this time brought to you by Pentakill Mordekaiser, which, you know what? All about the Pentakill. Pat here, and
Matt.
waiting
Filling in for Matt.
timing. Indeed. All right, so let's do this in reverse. We'll take a look at the champions, then we'll move on to the outfits. First off, the cheapest of all the cheaps are Singed, solid top lane
Buy
character.
him.
Yeah, if you want to impress people and look awesome if you buy the Bane skin. Singed is solid
That is
top
my.
lane. Tons of
Mhm.
CC. He can fling people. He can slow people. He has one of those I can't die ultimates. He's fantastic.
He is one of the most solid top laners you can have, and he transitions as to one of the best late game tanks as well. Basically, if you ever liked Teemo, and you're wrong if you said no to that question, anything he can do, I've always felt that Singed can do better. His poison is insane. He gets immense speed, and he can be more disruptive to a fight than a Blitzcrank grab if you play him well.
Yeah. Pop that ult, become unkillable, and then just huck people. Up next, we have
Well,
another.
his ultimate's more
Yep.
about the speed than anything.
Okay, I thought it was also an unkillable ult. Did they nerf it?
I don't think so. But I think it's mostly that enormous speed buff he gets, that he can catch up to someone or run away from someone and toss him back into his poison trail.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on. Next up, we have Fiora. I bought her the last time she was on sale. She's another fun top lane, tons and tons of sustain, and she has one of those like horrific everyone's gonna die ultimates. Only hits two people, but it's just really scary to see.
Is it really only two people? It feels like it hits anyone she
Feels like the
wants
whole
it to.
team. Feels like the whole team, but it only
That
hits two
ultimate
people.
is quite scary. Most people, it's kind of like a Yi Alpha Strike in that she teleports straight to you, does a ton of damage, and is untargetable for the entire duration of it.
Yeah, she can tower dive with it. She can do tons of things. Her passive gives her like tons of life steal, natural just life steal. She has a counter move, so if you hit her with a physical attack, she can return damage to you. And one of her abilities just naturally gives her almost a BF Swords amount of damage by the time you hit level 5. Just passive attack damage. She's a beast top lane. Anything else?
Now, you've played a lot more of her than I have. I've obviously only gone against her.
Yeah, I beat a Lee Sin top lane with her. That's like my only
She's
highlight.
mostly looked down upon these days, actually, as far as top lanes goes.
That's odd. She's got a good closer, and I guess maybe you can use it as a. Maybe you can't target allies.
Yeah,
Maybe her escape isn't that
she
good.
seems pretty. Yeah, she seems pretty scary to me, but she's starting to lose favor to, releases like Darius coming out recently.
Yeah, well, she's not tanky. That's her main problem. She has sustain, but like in the
Right.
short term, you can kill a Fiora real easily.
It's very similar to taking Yi top lane.
Yeah. All right, and after Fiora, we have the King of
We
Mid
have
and
Karthus.
or a troll jungle. The main thing to think about, I mean, there's tons of things, but the only thing that would come to my mind is if you want to become the most valuable team member, press R anytime someone on the enemy team is low. If you're playing Karthus and you're unfamiliar and people are just writing R in the chat, just press R and you're gonna get 1 to 2 assists.
Usually. His ultimate is one of the few remaining globals left in the game, just automatically smites the entire enemy team with massive amounts of magic damage. Scale magic resist later into your game, and you will still penetrate a decent amount of their armor and do tons of full team based damage with him in late game. He is just one of the beast mids. A lot of people will give him a lot of grief for the ultimate, but they tend to ignore that his kit is just amazing in team fights. He can hit his ultimate before a team fight even begins and already turn the tide of battle in his favor. And then when he gets in with his defile, there's just no escaping the massive amount of damage that he can output from there. Even if you kill him, he is still outputting damage because his passive is one of the most ridiculous in this game, where he can position before dying and still get a pentakill.
Yeah, he can do AoE damage. His Q does massive damage, and he has that wall that just does a great slow. So he's got CC, AoE. He's a jerk.
Not just slow. That slow is massive, but the magic resist reduction on it
Oh, I didn't know
is
it did
it can
that too.
almost get to. Yeah, it's absurd, which is great because you can just not even worry about the slow. You just land it, like if you're laning against someone, you land it right on top of them so they don't have a chance to dodge it. And while they're trying to get away from you, you can land his Q. which is just a fantastic laning ability because thanks to one of his passives on one of his other abilities, his Defile, he gains mana back for every mana minion he kills. He can lane sustain forever with that Q and just get tons of damage off on it by spamming it constantly.
Yeah. Well, it seems like some great champs on sale. I mean, Singed to 292 is a steal if you have any leftover RP. And if you want to start winning, pick Karthus. Fiora for people who are curious. Anybody you're interested in picking up this week?
Yeah, I can highly recommend Karthus and Singe. They are both fantastic top tier champs for what they can do. And well, like I said, you played a lot more Fiora than me. I can't comment too much on her other than as an opponent.
She seems fun, but she's not an easy win button. She seems neat. And they recently redid her her lore, so I have to imagine there's some sort of... They're probably looking at her, at least in some degree. Alrighty, well, let's move on to the outfits. First up, we have Iron Solare Leona. That skin looks just awesome.
This one for last. It is perhaps my favorite skin ever made, even more than Pulsefire Ezreal. I love that skin to absolute death. If you are a Leona fan, you owe it to yourself to pick up the skin for her. It is critical to her lore. It's the best skin made for her, hands down.
It's an awesome, like,
it's
eagle
got
shield.
Plenty of new particle effects. Yeah, that eagle shield is fantastic. She's got animations that involve it. And her ultimate even has a wonderful shout out to Iron Stylus when she lands it too, with a big eagle symbol when it lands. Or parrot, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. She's awesome. Next up, I guess we're probably both going to be kind of neutral on this, is High Noon Twisted Fate. He's another, I guess, one of the more average price sale skins. Nothing really all that extravagant. He doesn't have the beefy mustache he has in the picture for it. The model's actually kind of uninteresting compared to the... I love the art, but I just hate this model.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, if you want to have a bit of a Midwest, or not Midwest, a Far Western theme to him, you got nowhere else better to go than that. But otherwise, it's a pretty mediocre skin all around. It's not one of his legendaries, or I guess his legendary, which isn't even really a legendary anyway. So twist fate.
And if you make it laugh on the model viewer, the hat pops up and there's nothing underneath it. He has no top to his head. So I guess I can call that a complaint. And finally,
wow.
the cheap outfit of the week is Sown Chaos Orianna. You can get that for 260 RP. It's kind of neat. It gives... the fortunate thing to that is it gives a completely different color look to Orianna, since she's normally gold, so the pink stands out a little bit more, at least from, like, just a top-down view.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know.
Like I said earlier, it seems to be a favorite among the pros.
Yeah, Jackie from Curse uses it all the time.
Yeah. It's not my favorite Orianna skin. It's funny because I don't know if anyone else will get... Very few people will get the reference, but I always think of the couple Twisted Doll fights from near about the mid-stage of Lords of Shadow from Castlevania game. When I look at that skin, there was a certain fight there that resembles of.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've never really played Orianna. I keep meaning to. And she seems really animated as I'm going through animations. But I don't know, if you're looking for something to jazz up your Orianna, if you're sick of her white and gold kind of skin, this pink-purple thing looks kind of nice.
Yeah, it's definitely got a good amount of variation from her standard skin, if that's what you're looking for.
And heck, if it's 260, like, if you're picking between getting, oh, I guess Singed is probably worth more than Sony. But if you already own Singed and you have some leftover RP, this looks kind of nice. I might have gotten it had I had Orianna.
Of course, again, hands down, best skin of the week, Leona. It's best skin of the game as far as I'm considered.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy a skin this week, let's make it Orianna. If you're gonna buy a champ, probably Karthus.
Probably. I have a very tough choice for Karthus. I guess it depends on what you need in your arsenal. Because if you need a tank, Singed is he can be unkillable, especially when you get so late into the game that he's stacking Rod of Ages.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this is a pretty solid sale. I mean, it lasts until Tuesday. So you have plenty of time to make a decision. I think the only dud here is High Noon Twisted Fate. Everything else seems kind of neat.
Just about, yeah. I agree.
Alrighty, so we'll see everybody for week 38 for the Who's Free, Who's Sale report in the next couple of days.